Testing, testing. Wait a minute. I can't be right. Nope. This is supposedly, one, but not 100% sure why this isn't working. Let's see. Um, uh, okay. I'm trying to figure out why this mic. Testing, testing, testing. Hmm. Testing, 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 testing. proceed that way. The Lord is picking up every single sound you ever want to hear from anywhere. And it should just be okay. So the set. Okay. Okay. Hold on. We gotta turn this way up because we are close to the mic. Let's turn down the gain just a bit. So it should, here we go. Now, back. This mic requires phantom power. Sorry. Imagine once, I would imagine that once I am, once I have the lapel mic on, lapel mic on, and the speakers, the in-house speakers are working, that this hopefully will sound a little bit better. This mic is obviously a better mic, but so I'm hoping that the echo will be reduced. Anyway, so normally this is the view that you have when we are online. I'm still working out the light situation because it varies between myself and the pastor because my melanin count is a lot higher than his, so he naturally glows. So under these white lights, he's really just, he's really shining, if you will. So what I'm attempting to do is create a setting for when he preaches and then one for when I preach. But I'm going to look for some LED panel lights to replace the two that are on the floor. These are going to be put higher on the pillar on both sides. Because before we had an overabundance of brown, warm, or tungsten light, and with the browns and the dark tones in here, it would just swallow up all the light. But now, during the day, with the white light hitting me from here here, and then obviously when those are on, I just didn't turn those on today. It it really washes things out. But I wanted to go live to share with you, to let you know what we are doing and where we are hoping to go with our online service. I think that the pandemic should have taught us that we cannot neglect or ignore our online congregation. It's just as important as the in-house congregation, for we have people who watch us from far away. Being online and having a well-manicured online service means that we have become, as one pastor put it, a church without walls. There are people who will never come through the doors of the church, but they watch, they participate online, and there are people who, for various reasons, are not able to come to the church as of right now. Oh, I left it in my... Pastor Ken has been, I had both of my shots, so I am fully vaccinated, and we do have some church members who are, and some who are not for various reasons. With that being said, we still, when we come to church, want to wear a mask. I, for one, just chose to get the shot because that was my choice. Anyway, with that being said, one of the things we want to do, or one of the things that we need to do first, is we need to upgrade our mixer upstairs. Our mixer only gives out an analog signal, and that isn't good since things have moved to digital years ago. So with that being said, we want to upgrade our mixer upstairs, and I had a meeting with Pastor Brett, who did a fantastic job with our media system upstairs. And what we are thinking about doing, or what we are getting ready to do, is to move all the video equipment from upstairs where it normally is, and we're going to run all the wires down this side into this room, which means that the wires on the floor will no longer be seen. The current camera that we are using now, it is fine, but this is what is known as a webcam, which is totally different from the camera that we normally use, which was up in the crow's nest with all the other equipment. That is currently in the studio where we record Sabbath School, because as of right now, we cannot have Sabbath School in church. So if you haven't been able to, make sure in the morning while you're getting ready for church or whatever the case may be, that you check in, and you will be able to experience Sabbath School the way that we have been doing Sabbath School from the beginning. Also at 9:30 is Children's Sabbath School. And we want to take time out to thank Esmerna and Sister Grimes for being faithful to our children's ministry, to our lower division Sabbath schools, and pre-recording. They come every other Sabbath and pre-record 2 children's Sabbath schools, which is phenomenal. Thank you so much for your continued work and support of our children. And for any other ministry in the future, shameless plug, the pastor has tasked me with making sure that our online presence is the best that it can be, which is why I'm talking to you today from the sanctuary. During the week, I come here and I'm testing different things out to make sure that we are bringing to you online the best service that we can. With that being said, as you see, the display capture is actually the live stream that is happening right now. Now, the computer that we were using before, because I feel like it's necessary for me to give you the ins and outs of what we've been doing and what we plan to do, hopefully in the near future. We switched out the computer because the computer we were using initially was what you would consider an office computer. That's just a computer that you would go pick up from Best Buy. It doesn't cost a whole lot, probably $2 or $3.99, and you put it in your office for your administrative assistant, secretary, whomever, even for a kid just to do basic homework. As I have journeyed myself into live streaming, I have found that there are different calibers of computer. And so with that being said, long story short, I spoke to Pastor Jeff and I spoke to Elder Vance and Elder Irene early on about upgrading to what is called a gaming PC. Now, when I say gaming PC, it doesn't mean that we are necessarily playing games on it. Gaming applies to strength. So I purposely put the display capture because I want you to understand what the computer is doing. The computer that we purchased that had been sitting in a box for a while, right now, not only is it showing you the live stream, but it's actually capturing what's on the screen, which is also the live stream. And so it is showing it back to you at the same time. The reason why I did that is just so that you can see how strong this computer is. Now, the stuff, the Blackmagic equipment that we have does not go to waste. I want you to understand that this computer is strong enough to hold a stream and to render a stream all at the same time, which is part of what the material that Pastor Brett put in this church is able to do. That's why we were able to run a stream with an office computer, quote unquote, right? Okay, so we found that we had a little problem, right? There's a crackling sound in the live stream recording, the voice. Like when we are talking into the mic, there's this, like somebody's crumpling paper. And what we found is that our crow's nest, with all the wires and all the electricity that's on up there, with both computers, the router, the wireless mics, the Mac, the this, the that, the projector, all of these things are giving off electricity. And what is happening is the electricity is being picked up by the sound wires. So what we are attempting to do is move the video equipment all together. We're going to move it all together, so then that way we reduce the electrical noise and the filters that we have up there will be able to work. So when we upgrade to have a digital output for the live stream, that will also help because you won't hear that noise in-house or on the stream. So that's why we need to upgrade that from an analog to a digital mixer. The other part is, once we get all the wires and so forth, and along with a board vote, we will get the wires. And Pastor Brett has volunteered because his stature, if you will allow him to get into the crawl space. I can get in there, but I might fall through because reasons. So anyway, moving away from that, this particular camera is considered a webcam. I started that and then I left it. This is considered a webcam. It is a very good webcam because it broadcasts a 1080p picture at 30 frames a second. And since we're not doing sports, 30 frames a second is excellent. So I had a conversation with Elder Vance and so forth. Elder Vance was wondering, well, we need to do something about up here, which is correct. And we are Pastor Jeff and I are talking about things we can do to beautify the pulpit. I went live because I want you to see something that I've done. So I got and I recognize that the picture is sort of tilted. At least that's how it looks to me. That's why I kind of went live. It looks a little bit tilted, and I'm not 100% sure, unless our choir loft is tilted, I'm not 100% sure how to straighten this out. Oh. I see what it is. I see what it is. So what we have here is that what we have here is that it's missing. I just looked down at it. It's missing a screw. So anyway, the fact remains that we have a congregation view now. So we have a congregation view now, so that when we are live, Christian and myself will be able to switch from a front-facing view, that is normally myself or the pastor or whoever is up front, to a congregation view, so people will be able to see your beautiful faces. We'll be able to zoom in and so forth. Now, we won't be able to zoom into your personal face, and I'm sure you wouldn't want that anyway. But I figured that that's a good start. Elder Vance and I were talking about it. He suggested it, so that's why now you see it just fades from view to view. And talking to my wife, because it's a fool that doesn't listen to his wife. All right? So also and talking to my wife, because it's a fool that doesn't listen to his wife. All right? So now we have a full view of the PowerPoint. And then when we come back to pastor and the PowerPoint view. We flip to the congregation view. There won't be a PowerPoint because it's not totally necessary to have it. That's what my wife told me. When it's the congregation, to not put that there. Now, in terms of zooming, this is how far in it will zoom in. But we also have control of it to look at, different sides of the sanctuary. So we're able to zoom in and zoom out. Then we go back to the sermon view where we're able to do the same thing as well. So for right now, this is where we are. This is what we have, and it's all within the discretionary budget of the senior pastor. With that said, I want to tell you that going forward, what we want to be able to do is to move from having webcams in the sanctuary, because we are also looking into updating our website in a major way. So with that being said, these webcams will not go to waste. We're not throwing good money after bad. On our website, and once again, because I've been tasked with not only making sure that we look our best, but that we are rendering our best. My prayer is that, oh God, let me back up. Um, my prayer is that we can, give me just a second. Not only making sure that we look our best, but that we're rendering our best. My prayer. Okay, so my prayer is that we utilize these two cameras now that we have them, that we take this camera and the congregational view camera, and we use those to offer to our online community, as well as our church family, cooking videos. Now, the reason why these will work is because we won't need anybody else in the kitchen to work the cameras, because the camera will follow you in the kitchen as you move about cutting and doing other things as well. So these cameras have a humongous value in the area of content creation for the church. These cameras will also, all we need is one person sitting at the computer to unlock it from my face and lock it onto someone else's face. It's just a click of a button, and that's perfect. So ultimately, what we're looking to have is what's going to be, quite frankly, a more expensive camera that is positioned at the back of the church, and then another camera positioned like these two are, but it's not intrusive. You won't be able to see it. It won't be in your way. You won't have to worry about wires on the floor, anything like that. So your continued support and faithfulness to the church will help us get to that next step, to where we not only minister effectively in the church, but we minister effectively online. And it is professional, okay? It is professional, and it is the Hacienda Heights Seventh-day Adventist Church putting its best foot forward to represent Jesus Christ in the best way that we can. Now, we're not looking for big productions and, people with tripods and headsets and all of that, but we are trying to do the best that we can in this church, for this church, and for God's people, so that he can return and we can all go home. So we just ask that you continue to be faithful, not just with your tithes, but also with your offerings, so that we can make these changes as necessary. The other thing is that we have now, and both cameras are in here, and the thing is that with the computers in the church, when one of them is live, the other one cannot be live because there's only one YouTube account. So when we are taping Sabbath School, nothing can go on in here until the studio goes down and the sanctuary goes live. That's the way it works. Until I'm able to find out a way to just move the live stream from one thing, which I doubt, but it's okay. The other thing that we are hoping to do is to have volunteers who will be willing to help us in both the studio and the sanctuary, meaning there's sound, or what I am referring to as in-house ministry, and then live streaming ministry, which will take place back here and over there. Now, these are three different positions, and no one person, unless they choose, will know how to work all three positions. All we need is for someone to commit to one. That's all we need. It's just for one person to commit to one area. So if you want to take care of the sound that is in the church, or you would like to help us on the live stream where we are right now, or you would like to help us over there in the studio. We're also going to be looking for more material. So if you would like to give Bible study, if you want to teach the proper way to cook or make something in the kitchen, if you want to have if you want to be involved in the music ministry, whatever the case may be, we are in a position now where we are able to do these things and then post them online. And once we get our new website, these things will be added as content to the website as, or at least on a bi-weekly basis. So, for example, Children's Ministry Sabbath School, that's the thing that happens every Sabbath, meaning that when they take two have already played. So once again, giving a shout out to Esmerna and Courtney, what they are doing is more intense. So every 2 weeks, they need to prepare, you understand, they need to prepare the lessons that are coming before as I'm airing the lessons that they've already recorded. So they are already in a cycle where, as it sits right now, I have 2 Sabbath school lessons, and these next 2 Sabbaths, while we are airing them, they are preparing the next 2 Sabbath school lessons. So it is work. It is work, but it is a labor of love, much like what I am doing here. So also, one other thing before I let you go. Lord permitting, we are going to replace, we're not throwing away, okay? This is just, I'm letting you know what Pastor Ken is thinking. We're going to replace our screen and our projector with just a large size monitor. We're also going to put 2 smaller monitors, one here on this side of the sanctuary, one here on this side of the sanctuary, because the truth is the bulbs for projector technology advances almost as fast as computers, meaning that when this projector was purchased, and no doubt it's probably close to, if not top of the line projector, the next version of that projector was already in production. So the bulb, not the lens, but the bulb inside, usually after a certain number of years, they stop manufacturing them, or they become more expensive because they don't know how many people are still using them. So to manufacture them to cover the cost, they become more expensive. And speaking with Pastor Jeff, instead of continuing to buy bulbs for that projector, what we're hoping to do is replace it with a screen, a monitor or a TV of that size. What I'm hoping we can do with this, and we've had this conversation, and I know, but I'm just saying, this is just me. This is just youth pastor talking. What I would like to do is take this screen and move it over here to the courtyard. Now hear me out, please. Hear me out. I would like to move that screen to the courtyard and put the projector on a cart, just like in a school, whatever the case may be. What I'm hoping is that during the summer, the spring, summer, and fall evenings, as a community night, if you will, like we normally have game night or so forth, if possible, I want to move it to the courtyard and allow us to have movie nights in the courtyard. I want to mount it underneath the awning outside. We'll still be able to bring it up and down with the button, okay? And bring the projector out to hook up to a computer to stream a movie, and everybody can just bring their own little chairs to sit in the courtyard. But I understand there's an issue. The issue is that we have this very large tree here, meaning that the projector would have to be further back, which means the tree would have to go. And I'm not saying that we're going to chop down the tree. Pastor Ken cannot make that decision, okay? I'm just saying that I think we could use our courtyard for a lot of different things rather than just housing the tree, whether it's for movie night, whether it is for fellowship hall overflow, when we have Sabbath lunch, if we ever get back there, a place for the kids to play a little bit, because we do have a little bit of a gopher problem out there, and so forth and so on. So, yeah, that's what I'm hoping that we might be able to do, if possible. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. I hope that you understand where we are going and what we are trying to do with our online ministry as well as with our in-house ministry. If you are interested in any of our cooking live streams or cooking pre-recorded streams that we hope to do, please let me know, because I'm hoping. Oh, also, let me say something real quick regarding the cooking stream. When you do a cooking stream, I don't want you to feel like it is necessary for you to cook, quote unquote, American cuisine if your culture dictates that you cook something else. What am I saying? I am saying that I want the Hacienda Heights Seventh-day Adventist Church website to mimic, if you will, the vast, wonderful amounts of culture that we have in this place. So we are going to do two things. For example, if you happen to be Latino, Latina, Hispanic, Mexican, whatever the case may be, we want to record two things. We want to record you cooking it in English and then record you cooking it in Spanish. So we want to be able to have both. Okay? And if there is a way for me to find out how to add subtitles to you just speaking in your native tongue, that it translates into English, if I can find something like that, then we'll only ever have to record one, because we will just have the subtitles there as you speak in your native tongue, because that's what we want. I want for people, when they see it, to understand that they have a voice and that they can be heard here at Hacienda Heights Seventh-day Adventist Church, because this is not a black church, it's not a white church, this is a multicultural church. This is a small snapshot of how wonderful and how amazing heaven will be with all of God's people who look like everything being there. Thank you once again so much for your time, and we will see you on Sabbath.